Hello and welcome to another edition of Son of Kaiju Review. I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
He's tapping his fingers together. Billy. No, nervously. I don't know why, though.
I'm just being silly.
Today, we'll be taking a look at a radio show. Sorry, a movie based on a radio show. My bad.
Latitude Zero.
Yes, this is the Toho film based on the NBC radio drama starring the likes of Joseph Cotton, Cesar Romero, Akira Takarada, and numerous others.
He's about right. Yeah. Excuse me.
No, there's no excuse for you.
Yeah. That's pretty much true. There isn't.
Interesting fact about this movie, it was filmed in English, including all the Japanese actors. It was released both here in the US and in Japan. And over in Japan, they dubbed over everybody, including the Japanese actors. Except for one character who only speaks Japanese in both versions.
Yeah. The movie pretty much starts off about three guys in a submarine.
A bathysphere, because they're going down to check out some seismic activity. These are Dr. Ken Tashiro, played by Takarada, Dr. Jules Masson, and a journalist, Perry Lawton.
Is he... No, that's Ken. Ken is the guy with the camera.
Perry.
Oh.
Did you get Ken?
I don't know.
Were you thinking of Ken from Street Fighter?
Shh. They're not supposed to know.
But anyway, they go down. They're lowered down into the sea and to check on the seismic activity. Unfortunately, due to volcanic eruption, the bathysphere kind of takes a bit of a tumble, and the men's fate is left uncertain.
And then they find out.
They wake up aboard a submarine called the Alpha. Which
Aye. And they're met by, I guess, their captain.
Well, no. First, they're met by a beautiful lady, Doctor.
I want to say
what's her name?
No.
Dr. Ann Barton.
Oh yes, and like she's being very nice, and actually, I believe does she give them their clothes, or
I think they have clothes nearby, but Masson isn't with them because his condition was a lot more serious than theirs.
He's got tossed around a wee bit more than the other two did.
Though though Tashiro and Lawton are both surprised that they don't have any visible injuries. Mm-hmm. But after learning that how they were saved, they go to meet the captain of this submarine, Craig McKenzie.
He's got swagger.
Played by Joseph Cotton, for the record. And yeah, he's a pretty cool character. Mm-hmm. Like, not in a too try-hard sort of way.
No,
he's
but
just like generally cool character.
He's cool and quite kind.
Yeah. And the reason their submarine is there is because the scientists from where he's from, mm-hmm. Latitude Zero, mm-hmm. have been expecting this volcanic eruption for a couple months now.
Yes.
And they're just in the area to take readings. Mm-hmm. Just happened to be there when the bathysphere stumbled.
So pretty much they have to go to this Latitude Zero and kind of end their little mission so they can get the injured guy actual aid.
Yeah, they got to cut their investigative mission short as a result. Mm-hmm. But the two that are up and about do find out that this submarine, the Alpha, has been around since the early 1800s.
Mm-hmm. And apparently they're the original crew?
No, I don't think they're the original crew. I just think that it's been in service for that long.
Ah.
Making, of course, repairs and maintenance where needed.
Yeah. Then there's a doctor and his wife, I suppose.
Malik and his wife Lucrezia.
Lucrezia.
The villains of this film.
Yes. Are noticing that the Alpha is returning, and they're kind of concerned, and then they tell a different submarine to fire upon them.
This submarine is the Black Shark, captained by Kroigar. A beautiful Japanese woman.
Mm-hmm. Who, tells them to fire, because she got the orders to have them.
Also, Ultraman's there.
Yes, Ultraman is there. There's a lot of Tokusatsu characters. Not actual Tokusatsu.
Not the characters, the actors.
The actors.
Specifically, Susumu Kurobe plays one of the Black Shark's crew members. It's just kind of tickled to see him in that role.
Yep. In a villainous role, too, kind of.
I've seen him in a number of villain roles from around this time, too, in other Toho films. I think he was in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. I'd have to check again, but I do recall him playing one of the guys, one of the would-be assassins in that film.
Assassin number 5.
And Malik is played by Cesar Romero, who a lot of U.S. audience members will probably recognize as the Joker from the old Batman TV series. Mm-hmm. The old Adam West show. And he is a hoot in this, too.
Oh, yeah. He just kind of does his thing.
I definitely prefer his performance in the U.S. version of the film over the Japanese version. I think there's just something a bit lost in the transition.
Well, it's his voice.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he definitely has a more charismatic way of delivering his lines compared to the Japanese dub actor.
Then they get to latitudes. They make it to Latitude Zero. Latitude.
Managed to get past the defensive screen, protecting the underwater utopia, as it turns out.
Yep.
Which Mackenzie reveals is not affiliated with any nation on Earth. Mm-hmm. It's kind of its own neutral, independent group, hidden away from the rest of the world for the most part. And the Black Shark isn't able to get through because
they try to keep them out.
They don't have the right equipment. Now, while Masson is getting fixed up at the rehabilitation center in Latitude Zero, Mackenzie is showing the other two around and even informing them of just how people come to live in Latitude Zero. I think the brilliantest minds in the world are basically scouted by people living in Latitude Zero and are invited to join.
Yes. So if you have a brain, you can go, well, a smart brain.
You can't have one of them dumb brains, like, I don't know, mine.
Mine too.
No, but like a mind on the forefront of some scientific breakthrough. Mm-hmm. They will scout you and invite you to come live down there. And if you refuse, that's fine. Go about your normal business.
Yes.
And if you do decide to move to Latitude Zero but decide to return, that's perfectly fine as well.
Yep.
No one living in Latitude Zero is there against their will.
No. You could stay, you can go. You could actually even go up back on the mainland just for like a little vacation and come back.
And Malik is jealous of it. He wants it all for himself.
Yeah.
Kind of a stereotypical villain, but It's fine. I mean, this is a big fantastical piece.
Oh yeah, it's when we actually get to see what Latitude Zero actually does look like. It's honestly a paradise.
Paradise, visually spectacular. Got some interesting looking architecture. Yeah, I gotta tell you. But Masson recovers quickly thanks to help, and he and Dr. Barton actually form a bit of a fond relationship over the course of the film, which
they have to. I believe they have to take a bath in.
That's a later scene.
Yeah, but it's funny.
But no, Mackenzie informs Takashiro and Perry that that Latitude Zero is going to get a new resident in the form of Dr. Okada, a scientist from Japan.
Well, the black shark ends up attacking the...
Shut up. All right, fine. I'll stop interrupting.
No, that was my phone beeping. So, the black shark ends up attacking the ship that has the doctor and his daughter on board. And they end up kidnapping them.
Yes, and Malik is quite devious.
He is fucking loony.
We soon learn that Malik knows full well that Okada has a tracking device on him, and just lets Latitude Zero know where Okada is.
Yeah.
He takes Kreuger aside and cages her.
Yep. She's... Literally, he was flirting with her.
She was flirting back.
He goes, just wait in this room, I will come back. She walks a few steps, and a cage goes down on top of her, and she knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. So what does happen? Well...
we have to wait on that.
It's a horrid fate, admitted, honestly. Yes. But we'll get there.
So now, back at Latitude Zero, I believe they're about to take that immunity back.
After learning about Okada's capture and realizing that he's at Blood Rock, which is Malik's headquarters, Mackenzie ends up unintentionally recruiting the 3 bathysphere scientists, bathysphere inhabitants, on the quest to go rescue Okada. Though, for the record, they volunteer to go along.
Yes,
because their lives are saved.
They were willing to help.
We also get Dr. Barton, who comes along as a medical expert in case they need it, and Mackenzie's second in command, Kobo, who had helped him pilot the Alpha earlier in the movie, played by Kin Omae, who would later go on to play Banriki in Denshi Sentai Denzaman.
I believe he also is, you don't really hear his voice, but he is a suit actor.
Oh, is he?
I don't know, I'm guessing.
I mean, I knew he played some, at least a couple characters. That's why I recognize his face, but I'd have to look up what his other profession is. But he's the one character in this movie that speaks Japanese in both versions of the film.
Yes.
And everything he said is short and to the point.
Yep. The American actors say a little things in Japanese, and he tell.
I don't even need to say anything in Japanese. It's implied that Kobo is intelligent enough to understand different languages.
So he's bilingual.
Yeah, if not multilingual. I mean, we don't know how many languages they teach down there. We don't even know how old Kobo is.
Fair point.
I mean, Mackenzie outright states that he's a couple hundred years old.
Yeah. So. A couple hundred years old.
Oh, the power of super science. But admittedly, Kobo kind of just acts as the sidekick character to Mackenzie.
Honestly, when I first seen this movie, I thought he would be playing like the muscle of the group.
And he kind of is, but like not a stereotypical kind.
No, he just looks intimidating.
Yeah, but he's a sweetheart.
He's a teddy bear. They so they find out, and now they actually have to take their
the bath of immunity.
So the guys get in, and then Anne comes in. Okay, she gets into the tub.
Everybody's looking.
Yep. And all of a sudden, it apparently only takes a few, like a minute or.
They go submerged for like 3 seconds, roughly, before coming back up, and that's to protect them from the dangerous elements in Blood Rock.
And one of them says,
Masson specifically.
Masson says, "Ladies first."
When they're getting out,
and she goes, "I think you guys need to go first."
She just wanted to get a look at all them.
Well, if you think about it, she took her robe off getting inside the. So they got a look already.
For the record, there's no visible nudity in this film.
But
it's all implicit. And then the guys who are helping them shoot them.
Yep. And apparently the bullets feel like ping pong balls.
Toshiro says that he's been hurt worse by ping pong balls. Because the bath of immunity protects them from gunfire even. Apparently it also makes their reflexes quick enough for them to actually catch bullets shot at them, but I think that's a bit of a stretch, but okay. The implication is that they're
superheroes now.
At least temporarily.
Yes.
They also get like gold platinum alloy suits to help further protect them from the elements.
And they're getting told that each glove has a certain button for an attack, or
one's got like a flamethrower, another's got like a cryogenic ray, another's got a powerful laser beam. But Mackenzie specifically tells them to not utilize those unless he authorizes it, which is completely fair.
Exactly, because he knows how to use them more than the others do, but he's in charge.
Yeah. So they all head to Blood Rock.
They
get in pretty easily.
They do. They end up having to go through, I guess, an acid pool.
I think that's a bit later when they're on their way.
Wait, they have to get into the summer.
Submarine bay.
Yeah, the submarine bay, and get actually into the submarine.
Yeah, actually getting to Blood Rock is not too exciting of an adventure.
No.
I don't really recall too much happening, but I think that's...
They get onto the island pretty quick.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's because Malik is completely expecting them there and just is wanting to toy with them.
Yes.
Because he reveals that he knows the transmitter is with Okada. He destroys it, but not before being confident that it was picked up.
Yeah. So before the team gets to the island on Blood Rock, they are being pretty much somewhat interviewed. The doctor and
Malik wants Okada to join his forces, and Okada's like, no. So like, okay. Want to see an incredibly twisted science experiment? Hey, Batman!
Not the Batman.
No.
Batman.
Men bats.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. The costume work for the creatures in this movie,
it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, like they're the low point of this movie, to be completely honest.
Yep. I don't mind the griffin.
We'll get to that
at the time, but
the rats, the giant rats that chase the alpha men.
Yep, just like
when they are already.
I don't know if they were costume people. Or
yes.
just like
I don't know if the implication was that they're supposed to be rat men or just giant rats, because it's weird, but Kroger ends up becoming part of Malik's twisted experiment when her brain is removed and put inside the head of a lion, which has like vulture wings grafted onto it to turn it into a griffin.
Yep.
Which is then grown by an enlargement ray that Malik has.
And that what makes it somewhat of a kaiju now.
Yeah. That is why we are talking about this on Son of Kaiju review.
Yeah. The doctor does tell Malik that when he's about to take... He's literally removed the brain of the lion. He's like, don't you kill that poor woman. He's like... I forget exactly what Malik says, but he takes this little song to cut the top of her head off, and then it cuts to a different scene. Just like,
yeah, Malik is twisted in this movie, which is a step up from his Joker role.
yes.
I mean, we don't actually see anything graphic. It's all hidden just out of shot, out of view.
Yep.
But the implication is absolutely horrific.
Oh, yeah. When we get back, he's actually removing the wings from the vulture.
To graft them onto his griffin creation. But while being pursued by the rats, they
get across by
actually before that they're going through a cave that has like a magnetic floor that tries to pull them down, and Kobo manages to get up onto a rock and pulls the others to safety. In a very nice touch. Then they get to the sulfur, the sulfur vapor fields,
like,
which is just strewn with bones.
Yep, and just like, it would have been funnier if we saw the the skeleton turtle. Wiggle, head was a little wiggle.
Yeah, from Mothra vs. Godzilla. Yeah.
Classic.
Skeleturtle. Mystery Bones of Infant Island.
What? It's moving! In a comic, apparently it's alive!
But anyway, they get past the sulfur fields and wind up in a acid bath.
Yep, and
Kobo's feet are... Well, at least his boots are pretty badly damaged and are burning, so they have to cut his boots off.
Yep.
And apparently that damages his jetpack, so the other four have to jetpack him around.
Yep, they hold arms. Two of them holds arms, so both their jetpacks can lift him up, and plus the other two.
Right.
Then they officially get to they get to the other side. And then the rats
follow them into the
they melt.
For lack of a better term, yes. Then they're confronted by the Griffin, who does nothing.
You go out there, go and kill them.
Malik tells the Griffin to kill them, and when the Griffin doesn't, he calls it a stupid creature. No, she just remembers what the fuck you did to her. It's like, why the fuck did she want to help you when you removed her brain and put her in a lion's body?
She was a very attractive woman.
Oh, yes.
Now she's a beast.
In a poorly made costume.
That was a puppet.
Yeah, like we said, the creature costumes in this movie are a low point for this film.
Yes.
Which is a shame because the rest of the movie is pretty exciting and well made.
Yeah, the story is quite interesting. But they actually get to the lab. The doctor or the professor is now on the slab. Because they're about to turn him into something, but then the team...
No, what Malik's going to do is basically dig into his brain and go through his memories to try and get the information that he wants out of the scientist. Since the scientist doesn't want to work with him, he's going to force the issue. He's
so
a madman,
Jim.
Basically. He's a madman.
Yes, and one of the bat people keep holding on to the daughter because it's trying to tell him to stop. And I'm sorry, but her cries of like sadness and fright kind of sound like orgasm sounds. Oh.
That's just your opinion, man.
But then again, who knows what that Batman was actually doing?
Ew. This movie doesn't go that far, man.
No.
Jeez.
No.
I mean, it has some implicitly horrific stuff, but...
No, but I know it. I'm fucking around. But... I don't know.
Oh, but they managed. The Alpha Men show up and manage to stop Malik.
Malik and Malik's wife ends up trying to stab one of them with the syringe,
and that doesn't work because of the gold platinum alloy.
There's a click.
It stops short.
Then he just
shoves her away. At this point, Malik is coming with a knife and ends up accidentally stabbing his wife. Like, even he feels guilty about that. He did not want that to happen, and she knows and says as much. Now Malik's pissed.
Yep. Then the more Batmen randomly show up, and they end up shooting them with their lasers and start beating them. Then they all turn into small bats.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that while they were cutting off Kobo's boots earlier, Mackenzie and Masson were using their flamethrowers
to stop the rats.
And I know that Mackenzie uses his laser to cut into the lab, to cut through the door. I don't know if they ever use their freezing beams.
I don't think they do.
I think that feels a bit
wasted.
A bit wasted, but the fact that it was brought up, but they never needed to use it, I think that's okay. It kind of goes with the whole super science thing.
Yeah. So then Malik ends up getting away.
And Lucrezia turns to dust, because I guess she was a vampire, I suppose.
She saw some sunlight. Or she ate garlic. Who knows? She literally dust.
Just crumbles to dust. Just a pretty good effect, I gotta admit.
Yeah. Just like when that scene came, even I know the actors knew what the prop was going to be, but their reaction is like confusion.
Yeah. But anyway, they pursue Malik, who gets off by the Griffin because Kruger was pissed.
Well, before that, he's... I believe he is now in the Black Shark.
Okay.
And the Alpha people are in Alpha.
So we get a submarine battle.
Yeah, the little submarine battle. But there's a magnetic field that the Alpha cannot really move. But instead of moving forward or backwards, they decide to use the jets on the bottom to make it float. So they get out of it.
Oh, so they go Tango that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. They start firing upon the black shark, and they're able to open up with, I think one of their missiles end up breaking a piece off where he is at, and then the Griffin comes and starts destroying the guns and on the black shark, and get him.
Yeah. Because fuck you, you turned me into a monster. I loved you, and you turned me into a monster.
So, after Kruger is now defeated, they all go back to Latitude Zero besides Paul, who wants to...
Perry decides...
Perry, Paul.
They do all go back to Latitude Zero, but Perry decides he wants to head back up to the surface with all the photos that he's taken of the adventure and the tobacco pouch full of diamonds that he had...
Yes.
There's an earlier scene in the movie towards the beginning where Perry has his pipe out in the bathysphere, but he's told not to smoke because they're in an enclosed space with only a limited supply of oxygen. So that sets up that he's a smoker.
Yeah.
Then when they're actually in Latitude Zero, he finds basically potted plants that are adorned with diamonds, which Mackenzie just was like, yeah, you can have them. Go for it.
Yeah,
so he empties out his tobacco pouch and fills it with diamonds.
Like, are these real diamonds? Everything at Latitude Zero is real.
Just... I mean, even all the gold that everybody's wearing is extracted from the seawater, it's stated. Which, okay.
Yeah.
This is a super science movie about future technology.
Yes. Don't overthink it.
Our minds are not advanced enough to understand it all.
Yours might be. Not mine.
Certainly not mine.
But no, we have smart fans, so.
But no, Masson and Barton get together, and Tashiro, sorry, he also decides to stick around in Latitude Zero, so Perry is sent back up to the surface and is taken aboard a Navy ship that's going to go pick up a space capsule that's about to drop. And he is surprised to see familiar faces on that boat, including that of Mackenzie. Glenn Mackenzie, though.
Glenn Mackenzie. So, he tries to explain to them that you guys need to stop going up there. The stuff is down in the earth or under the water. You know, just
it's kind of stop focusing so much on space and try and see the miraculous things that are happening here on the planet.
And then a soldier comes out of a dark room with a film,
and there's nothing on it. So all of his pictures never really explained exactly what happened. He tries to explain that it was the crummy dark room as responsible. It's possible that his film was confiscated before he was sent back up and replaced.
I'm thinking most likely. And he switched his... He tried to... He's sounding crazy right now. So.
But he's like, I've got a way to prove it. He pulls out his tobacco pouch and empties the tobacco inside of it. Shit.
It was diamonds. He's like, it was used to be full of diamonds. And he's like, he's like, yeah, none of us on board here can afford diamonds.
You know, we still have some work on our mission left to do, but once we get back, we'll get you to land. But until then, we're gonna
put you in the sick bay.
But I'm not crazy. I'm not.
And then the doctor comes out.
Lieutenant Hastings, played by Cesar Romero, which of course Perry recognizes as Malik, but he's like, no, wait, no. And he's accompanied by two men who go to either side of Perry and they grab his arms, but he's like, no.
I'll go freely.
I'll go willingly.
And then, like, they're getting like orders to go to where the pod has landed.
But before that, there's a telegram that they received for Perry informing him that a cache of diamonds had been put in a safe deposit box for him. So he's the richest man on the ship, but for now, they're going to be heading to the drop location located on Latitude Zero.
Dun, dun, dun. So
this movie is great.
Oh, yeah. It's a good movie. We had to actually watch this twice.
Yeah, the first time we watched it for this podcast, we hadn't seen each other in 2 weeks, so we ended up catching up. And Brian here didn't realize that we were rewatching it for the podcast, so we weren't really paying attention.
Yeah.
That's our bad.
Yeah. We watched, that first watch through, we watched the English version.
Which is an hour and 45 minutes, I want to say.
And yesterday, we ended up watching the Japanese version.
Which is an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's much shorter, and
I couldn't tell you what all the differences are.
Just the only difference, I believe, was the time.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure they changed a few things to account for things. It's not super important.
No.
Both versions are great.
Yeah.
Like, this is an absolutely fantastical, like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea-esque film.
Yeah.
It borrows heavy from that future science in a less technologically advanced modern day.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about the fantastic visuals and the adventure of it all.
Yeah. Just, the plot was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I don't, out of all the characters, I don't have one that I dislike.
Right.
Well, besides the villain, that's about it.
Yeah, but
you're supposed to dislike the villain. He's a great actor, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like, as much as you're supposed to dislike the character, and he does some incredibly despicable stuff, Cesar Romero plays him fantastically and very charismatically. Like, you can understand why he has people working for him.
Yeah.
He plays such a good villain. It's probably part of the reason why he got cast as Joker.
Oh, yeah. Just like... Comparing to his role in this and his role to the Joker is... He's crazy in both, but he seems a little more tame in Batman.
Whereas this one is a more methodical madness.
Yes.
Like, he's intelligent and he knows that he's doing some horrific stuff, but he doesn't care. He's selfish like that. Bitch. And Joseph Cotton does a fantastic job as Captain Mackenzie in this film. A nice, calm, soft-spoken character who's still willing to crack a joke here or there.
We forgot to mention Dr. Sarazawa is in this movie.
Oh, yeah, but only as a minor character.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what role he was playing. Dr. Sugata. Yeah, just one of the doctors who was working on Masson in his recovery. He's just there. Which, it's a Toho movie, so that...
Well, if you watch this movie, and if you're a fan of, like, the Godzilla films, the Mothra films, you will notice characters, but they're, like, are actors that you've seen in these previous films.
Right, like Akira Takarada,
Yeah.
Masumi Okada, who played Dr. Masson,
Mm-hmm.
and, of course, Akihiko Hirata.
Yeah.
So that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say other than it's a shame that the costume designs for this movie were pretty terrible. Because this being a Toho movie, a Tokusatsu Toho movie, you'd think that the costumes would look better, but they just kind of clash with the rest of the film. Which,
all, like, the more futuristic look of what the humans were wearing, and, like, the bad
Batman and giant rats. And the Griffin looks okay, but it still looks like a suit.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wonder how the film would look if it were made today. And still using practical effects for the most part. Like, I can allow for, like, some CGI here and there, like, just as an enhancement for the practical effects, though.
I think it would be definitely extremely updated and more, like,
Unfortunately, nobody really remembers that this movie exists outside of the tokusatsu community, so I doubt that anybody would remake this. And even the original radio dramas are like largely lost. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. I don't know how much of this movie is directly taken from those, or if it's really only a situational thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just using the name of Latitude Zero and not the actual plot. I don't know because I've never listened to the radio series.
Yeah, it's a good film. You gotta be a tokusatsu fan to actually like it.
I think you could enjoy it as like an adventure film, but you probably wouldn't know about it unless you were a tokusatsu fan.
Yeah, so
great movie. Definitely check it out.
So, till next time, I'm Tank.
I'm Protomit.
See ya.
Bye.